Welcome along to episode 1 of Cam can't run a half marathon because his car is too shit. Should that actually be the intro for it? That'd be so funny. Okay, welcome along to the first episode of the half marathon prep series. Guess I could call it that. I'm only 4 weeks out, so I don't know if it's actually going to be much of a series, to be honest, but that sounds cool. So yeah, 4 weeks out this week, or this weekend. Still not sure if I'm actually going to run the whole half marathon, but I'll dive into that soon. In terms of why I chose a half marathon, I guess it's probably a good place to start. The main thing is that I wanted a new challenge. I wanted to compete in something. You know, I competed in a couple of bodybuilding shows back in 2018, but since then I haven't really competed in anything. So I played a lot of sport at school and did mountain biking and all that stuff, and actually did quite a bit of running as well. And then since then I've just kind of been really deep into the bodybuilding and just going to the gym, whereas now I kind of wanted to expand that sort of fitness realm and explore a new challenge. And it's quite cool as well because it's a Movember half marathon. Still got the Mo from last Movember, but so part of it too is to raise awareness for men's health, and I'll be doing a men's health focused podcast episode too. So there's a couple of things that I want to do around that Movember time. So it just so happened that there was a half marathon as well that was run by the Movember Foundation. Another big motivator, kind of touched on it there, was the podcast. So for the podcast, I wanted to come up with a cool sort of ethos or mission statement that sort of encompassed what the podcast was about. And what I came up with was you make you. And what that sort of means, there's two parts to it. There's a high level, sort of broad, macro level view of it, where the decisions that you make and the things that you do make you the person that you become. But then there's the micro of that as well, where it's at times when you don't want to do something, i.e. go for a run at 6 a.m. when it's dark and raining and cold, you have to make you do it. You make you. So there's this like high level thing where the stuff that you do makes you into the person that you become. But then there's that micro stuff where you have to make yourself do stuff even when you don't want to do it sometimes. So I feel like I've embodied that to a certain extent through some of the things that I've done. I don't know if you can hear those sirens. Anyway, to a certain extent, you know, I got my psychology degree, and then when I was partway through that, I made the decision to leave that and get my personal training certificate and then go back to uni. And I've done, like I mentioned before, bodybuilding shows, mountain biking events, and some running events as well. So, and then, actually moving over to the UK, that's another one, you know. So I've done some things, but because I came up with that ethos, I really want to embody it and make sure that's what I'm living as well. It's not something that I'm just saying. So I want to start doing maybe 2 events a year or something, where it's like a running event and like a powerlifting event or something like that, where I'm starting to, compete in more things and really sort of embody this you make you ethos or mindset even. I kind of missed out talking about leaving PT and coming into the IT space. I wonder if I mentioned that at all, or do you think I did that you make you thing enough? Yeah, I think it's all right. So in terms of my training for this half marathon, it certainly hasn't been linear.
Just out on my first 8k run, finding it really hard to find a slow enough pace. I think I keep overcooking it. Starting out the gate too hot, so then to pull back a little bit now, but it's all part of the experience.
And I mentioned that I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be able to do the half, and that's because I don't know what it is, but I have these really bad calf pains.
So I decided to cut the 8k run short. Just came too hot out the gate, like it's running too fast, and then the calves felt a bit cooked, so I'd rather stop it early so I can run again in a couple of days rather than pushing through and getting an injury and then not being able to run again. So yeah, it's all part of the process, but still a good 5k for me, but it's not really what I wanted today. So yeah, it's just all learnings really.
It's not like it's DOMs or anything. It's when I'm running, that's specifically my soleus too, actually, the lower part of my calf. It just gets to a point where it gets real sore, where I just have to stop. And obviously a large part of it will be not having run in a long time. Like I used to run, but that was like over 5 years ago or something now. So that would be a large part of it. My technique's probably pretty shit. And maybe my shoes aren't the greatest as well. Maybe they need more like drop in them or something. So with this Movember run, there's actually a 10k and a 5k option. So I think by next week or next weekend, I'm going to make the call whether or not I should try and do the 5 or the 10k option instead. But I found out that through our health insurance with work, I actually get 50% off running shoes at this local, well, not a local store, but this UK sports shoe chain. So I might pop in there today and go, get the analysis and all that kind of stuff done, and maybe get another pair of shoes. And if that helps, then I think I'll at least have a much better chance at being able to complete it. Like I haven't got to the point where I'm gassed out cardiovascular wise. I feel okay cardiovascular wise, but yeah, it's just these calf pains. I just have to stop running. The most I've run in one continuous go is 5k. So obviously I'd have to run over 4 times that amount for the half marathon. In terms of my training for it, I definitely started at the uninformed optimism stage, because I'd say it must be because I used to run, so I could run 10k up and down hills and not have any issues, So I thought, getting back into it, there'll be a bit of an adjustment period or whatever, and that's to be expected. But like to be a few months in and have probably more shit training weeks than good training weeks, yeah, I feel like there's something that needs to change there. Another big learning in terms of my training was managing it with my weights. So when I started running, I was going 3 days a week if I could, if my calves would allow it. Anyway, I go 3 days a week and I was training 5 days. But what I found is that is a little bit too much, especially in the weekends if I was wanting to do a longer run and also do weights. But then also, I've got the podcast and this other stuff on. So I wanted to, and because I was getting sore, I took out a weight session, adjusted my split to 4 days of weights and 3 days of running. So my split right now, on a Monday, I do shoulders. On a Tuesday, I do a medium distance run and legs in the afternoon. Wednesday is a rest day. Thursday, I train push, and I do a short run, train push. No, I'm confused. I do push, and then on Friday I do a short run, train pull, and then on a Saturday's a rest day, and then on Sunday I go for a long run. So yeah, still kind of getting to learn the split and see what my body can handle, I suppose. But I'll aim to make another video next weekend, and I suppose that would have the decision as to what I'm doing, whether or not I'm going to still stick with the half or drop down to the 5 or 10 kilometre, assuming that there's still spots available for it actually. Hopefully it's not sold out. But honestly, even if I do the half and I have to run it, I don't know. If that comes to it, I'll just do that. At the end of the day, I still want to complete something, but I don't want to be stupid and like end up tearing a calf muscle or something and then not be able to run for a long time. So thanks for checking out this episode though. Obviously, if you want to like, subscribe or comment, any of that good stuff is much appreciated. I don't know how much you're going to get out of it, to be honest. But if anything, I just want to show you the start of this running journey. And then, you know, when I'm doing sub 3 hour marathons super easy, probably not, but when I'm a lot better, at least I have this time documented where I wasn't good and I was struggling. And yeah, who knows, maybe in a year's time I'm still going to be in the same spot, but we'll see. Appreciate you tuning in. See you in the next one.